Hey everybody, it's Mateo Solis, CEO and founder of Tatami USA, and we're here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with a man who needs no introduction, but I'll give it anyway, Sensei and head coach of Team USA Karate, Brody Burns. Sensei, it's really nice to have you on the show.
Thanks, Mateo. Glad to be here.
Welcome to our second episode of Tatami Talks. We're super excited, so let's get right into it. First, I want to start off this interview kind of talking about you first. People know who you are, people know the name, but we don't really know your story, right? So how did you ascend to becoming the face of the head coaching staff at Team USA Karate? How did that really go down?
I worked pretty hard in the logistics of the team for years. I was a team leader for many trips where I would organize the hotels, organize the transportation, and I would go on the trips and not be able to coach, mostly cheering from the stands, stuff like that. When I started getting athletes on the team pretty consistently and being involved in them and they were successful athletes, then it became a little bit more logical for me to be involved in the actual coaching. So at some point, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and when the Olympics started coming up, I really was interested because I thought I would have some athletes personally that would make the Olympic team. So I really wanted to be involved in that. And at the time, Coach Hood was the head coach, and he gave me a shot in as a chair coach, I would say, a national coach. And then just over time, I think with the organizational power that I bring to the table, that helped get me into the head coach spot.
Awesome. So, we know that you have coached world-class athletes. We know that you have coached Olympic athletes. You've been to Tokyo for the games. But is there one specific moment that you have in mind that really, defined you as a coach, that was really pivotal in your career?
I think I was just like most dojo owners, where I had a group of athletes that were pretty good at competition, but we did it locally. Maybe we'd go to AAU or USA Karate Nationals and compete, and it was okay if we won a couple medals, but then all of a sudden Tom Scott was producing pretty good, but he was a junior and not producing consistently what he wanted, and he came and sat down next to me at an airport one time and he said, Sensei, I want to get good at this, and I want to be winning all the time. And to me, that was a sign to me that, hey, I need to level up my game and take this seriously. And we did. We formalized the competition team. I structured it so that it was similar to a professional team. We have professional trainer. I have coaches that are dedicated to coaching. And then from my own perspective, I took it seriously. I started studying how to be a better coach. So I would say that time when you have an athlete who you recognize, wow, he has a lot of potential, and they come to you and say, you need to make sure that I do this. I took that seriously, and I think that was probably one of the biggest changing points for me, is going from being sensei only to sensei and a coach. I wanted to be a good coach.
For sure. Yeah, I really admire that. I think, arguably you have started the model of, how a dojo and how a competitive dojo should operate. We see what you're doing. You have your karate stuff, you have a structured schedule, but you also have expanded on that, right? You have champion sports performance, you have your athletes working hard, not just in the dojo, but also physically on that rigid training schedule. So I think, you have set that precedent, and USA Karate and all of us within it are definitely trying to follow that. So that's huge.
Well, I appreciate that. I come from a different background. I was never a superstar karate athlete. Like, you look at the Coach Baldus, Coach Cheenan, that are here today, even Coach Montilla in the kata session. All of these guys, they can fall back on their competitive career. I didn't have that. I think I bronzed at a nationals, things like that. I was pretty good at it, but I was never an elite level athlete for the sport of karate. So I approached it more like, okay, college football coaches, they're not going to be the best player on the field. They're going to be the coaches. They're going to do the strategy. They're going to come up with the plan, and that's kind of the model I went after. Well, I need to be the one calling the plays that make changes. So I think that's where it comes from, and I've studied hard to be a coach.
For sure.
And I think that's hopefully what it looks like as an overall program. So.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. So, as a coach, expanding on your philosophy, would you say that you have, one specific, maybe like a one-liner that you teach to your athletes that they always stick to, whether that's in the dojo or whether that's, on Team USA? Do you have one specific, line?
I don't know that I have a specific line. I would just have an expectation.
For sure.
Which is that you have your job and I have my job. If I am doing my job properly and you're doing your job properly, we'll be successful, right? Don't try and do my job, I won't try and do your job.
For sure.
I'm very lucky in that at home and on a national team, I have people that do their jobs. I don't have to be the physical trainer. I have champion sports performance. I don't have to be the kata coach. I have kata coaches.
For sure.
So I just have to do my job. So that's all I ask every athlete that I train is you do your job. You be that athlete that can do the plays that are being called, and I'll make good plays.
All right, yeah. So, kind of expanding more now on the macro in terms of USA Karate. What is your outlook on karate within the United States? How are we, how are we progressing? Is there any trends that you're seeing, especially coming back from PKF?
Sure. I think this has been something I want to do, right? The coaching staff has been not quite as consistent through the time, right? I want a program, an actual program that lasts. So we're working on that as a coaching staff, developing that so that it lasts beyond any one particular coach and that it can be for anybody to use. But what we're doing in the States, I think if you look at our results, the last 4 years, we've been on the medal podium in the top position 3 of those 4 years. And in the year that we slipped, we fell to number 2. And it's because we had some underperformances from our top level athletes. So had everybody been firing and the performances be what we know they're capable of, we're unstoppable at the PKF.
For sure.
So it's not even that we're a medal away. We're 2-3 gold medals away from the next country touching us. So I think in the Pan Ams, we're doing really well. Now we have to translate that over to the Worlds. We sometimes put ourselves down over here and say, oh, well, the Europeans, they do this and that. Yeah, well, it doesn't mean they're doing it all right. So we should be a powerhouse. We have the potential, we have the athletes, we have the skill here. We just need to make sure that our program feeds that.
Agreed. Yeah, I do agree that there is a lot of untapped potential, and I think we're definitely making those right steps to doing that, to becoming that dynasty country.
Well, you look at what our juniors are doing in the youth league and getting out there. Even just this weekend over in Egypt, you have Eddie from Colorado.
Yeah. Shout out Eddie though, by the way.
Yeah. Real impressive. Just aged in, his very first one out there. He's winning matches. He's going rounds. And he's gaining experience that a lot of athletes didn't get early on.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And now we get those. The youth league is a game changer for us in experience. It used to take, probably 4 years to get the experience. A guy like you who's gone to the youth league a couple times in a year are getting for these athletes because they had to wait for PKF or World Championships. Now they have Series A, youth leagues they can go to. And they're getting international competition three times a year, 4 times a year.
Would you say that sending a national coaching staff to these youth league events, or even the Series A and even Premier Leagues, would you say how important would you rate that?
I see. There's the question. Obviously, it would be important. The national coaching staff would love to do that.
Yeah.
We oftentimes go anyway. Self-funded. I know Coach Baldus has been a couple times to the youth leagues because we recognize the importance of it. So I think it would be very important. Obviously, it's a corporation, it's a business that has to be looked at where it falls within a budget and budgetary needs and priorities. I recognize that too.
Understood. Yeah, for sure. So just to wrap up this interview, just like the question that I asked in the last Tatami talk to Sakura, a lot of our audience is very young. A lot of our audience, most of our audience is actually, like the USA karate athletes. So is there, one piece of advice that you would say moving forward, as we are progressing as a country, as a federation, as a team, would you say that you have one piece of advice, for everybody out there watching going forward?
Yeah. I would say don't discount what you're doing now. Take it seriously. Get involved. Be professional. Know that a lot of what your success is based on what you do. It isn't, your coach is not a lucky charm. He's a coach to train you. So I would say if you want to reach the next level, do it. Level up. Work hard to do that. What do I need to do to be the next level?
For sure.
We have a lot of athletes, and you've seen them, I'm sure, are successful junior level athletes. And they start feeling really good about themselves. And then they hit a senior level, or they hit a level of competition that is hard or uncomfortable, and they quit. That's not what's supposed to happen. We have such a strong talent pool in our juniors that I don't want to see them weed out. I want to see them pushing. I want to see us be 4 or 5 athletes deep. We hear that about the Europeans.
For sure.
Or that they have such depth. We have that. Our guys just have a tendency to, when it gets a little tough, I don't want to do that anymore. No, push through, be that. So that's what I would say is just take it as a profession and get serious about it. And if you want to be the next level, be the next level.
For sure, agreed. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching episode 2 of Tatami Talks. We really hope you enjoyed. Sensei, thank you so much for joining me.
Taylor, love it.
Bye guys, see you soon.
Bye.